Hundreds of undocumented immigrants have been apprehended in ICE raids sweeping across the country.
The operations carried out in Georgia and New York mark one of the largest immigration enforcement efforts this year. Now, Chicago leaders are bracing for a similar crackdown as federal activity ramps up. Michael Yoshida reports.
Cell phone video capturing a sweeping immigration raid at a massive Georgia manufacturing facility.
We need all work to end on the site right now.
475 people were apprehended as several law enforcement agencies descended on the Hyundai Meta plant near Savannah on Thursday, according to a Homeland Security investigations official.
Almost for a second, like, are we in the U.S.? Like, I've never seen them come out like that, guns drawn.
A similar site hundreds of miles away in upstate New York. Federal agents raiding a family-owned plant that makes nutrition bars. Dozens of workers questioned, with nearly all taken into custody, according to the nonprofit Rural and Migrant Agency, whose staff witnessed the raid.
The people that work for us are, every single one of them are wonderful people. And to have them taken away is not only unfortunate, it's just inhumane almost, the way you see it, as it's being conducted.
Also Thursday, the Justice Department suing Boston's Mayor Michelle Wu and the city's police department.
So it is no longer news. There is mass deportation happening everywhere in the U.S. as we speak right now. The U.S. what is happening in the U.S. is unrecognizable. There's another side to this story that I want to share with you today. The Trump administration has gone into an agreement with our brother. Let us hear again.
They are arresting people on the streets, at schools and fields, even outside their own houses. Donald Trump promised to detain 1 million migrants per year with the help of 10,000 extra ICE agents, thanks to the passing of his big, beautiful bill. While he claims he's only arresting criminals, statistics show that 70% of current detainees have no criminal convictions. What does this do to communities with a high number of migrants? And what are the implications for the economy, especially in farming?
That, as you have seen there, the U.S., there is mass deportation happening right now in the U.S. The government of Ghana, people in Ghana, they are going to have some very soon. They are going to have lots of people are going to come to Ghana. Whether you like it or not, the Ghanaian government has sent an agreement. This was after the U.S. government had imposed tariff and visa restriction on Ghanaians. The U.S. government imposed tariff on goods and services from Ghana and also visa restriction. Now, a lot of people are wondering, why is it that millions of deportees are on their way to Ghana? Whether you like it or not, at a time where a lot of Ghanaians, there's xenophobia in Ghana. A lot of Ghanaians are complaining that they want Nigerians out of the country. Charlie, you don't like Nigeria. You are going to have millions of burgers in the shores of Accra very soon, because President Mahama, he has gone to bed with Trump, and he has told Trump, say, send all the foreign burgers to Ghana. Ghana will host them. Millions are set to arrive in Ghana because John Mahama has done a deal with the U.S., telling them that Ghana will accept the deportees that the U.S. sent. So the question that a lot of people are asking today, is this fair for African countries? You have Rwanda, you have Eswatini, you have Uganda, and other African countries. They are now the ones that are accepting American deportee. Do you think that this is fair? You're going to hear from John Mahama shortly on the rationale for why he decided to go into this agreement to take on deportees from the U.S. Why did he decide to take on the deport? That is why a lot of Africans cannot understand why Ghana is set to take millions of deportees. Why Ghana decide to go into this agreement, they just cannot understand why Ghana is doing this. Let me know what your views are in the comment section. Let us hear from Muhammad.
We were approached by the US to accept third-party nationals who were being removed from the US. And we agreed with them that West African nationals, were acceptable.
After a bilateral agreement with the US, illegal immigrant nationals from various West African countries are being sent to Ghana. 14 of them have already arrived in the country. Ghana is the latest country to join a long list of so-called third countries, which have agreed to accept people deported from the US as part of President Donald Trump's sweeping crackdown on illegal immigration. Since returning to the White House, he has clamped down on undocumented migrants and pledged to deport millions of people who are living in the US illegally. So Washington has negotiated agreements to send them to countries other than the US. Now, several countries in the global south have...
So, is it in Ghana's national interest to accept deportees from the US at a time where there is xenophobia happening in Ghana? A lot of Ghanaians are angry, rightly or wrongly, that Nigerians need to go back to their country. Charlie, you may not like Nigerians, but you are going to be seeing more burgers on the street of Ghana. Millions are going to flood the street of Ghana. The question that a lot of commentators are asking, what impact assessment the John Mahama government did before they signed this agreement, where the local people in Ghana consulted to say, are you happy to have deportees in your country? The local people in Ghana's report that we have is that they were not consulted. This was an agreement that was done without taking into cognizance the social impact, social cohesion in Ghana. The question I am asking is that, can you imagine an African country signing an agreement with a European or American country to say, we will send all our deportees to your country? Why is it that African countries are not queuing up at a time when the Trump administration signed an executive order that restricted visa to Ghanaians, that raised tariff on goods and services imported from Ghana? What is Ghana getting in return? Do you think that this is in Ghana's best interest to be accepting deportees from America? Let me know what your views are, whether you think that it is right for Ghana to accept American deportees at a time where a lot of Ghanaians are complaining that Ghana, that they don't want foreigners in their country. Let me know whether you think that Ghana has done the right thing by signing this agreement with the US to accept deportees from the US. Is it in Ghana's best interest? That is the question that a lot of us are asking. Is it in Ghana's best interest to accept deportees from the US at the time where the US themselves, they have not provided any sort, they're deporting people from outside the US and they are sending them straight to Ghana? Let me know. Do you think that it is fair for Ghana to be doing this? Let me know what your views are in the comment section, because a lot of people in Ghana, as I said before, they were not consulted before the John Mahama government signed this agreement that allow deportees to be brought to Ghana. This is the reality that we are seeing as we speak today. A lot of immigrants are being deported to Ghana at the time when the Ghanaians are complaining that they want Nigerians and other foreigners out of the country. So my Ghanaian audience, what I'm saying to you, Charlie, you are going to have some fresh burgers. And these burgers, they are not coming to Ghana to create jobs. These burgers, they are not coming to Ghana with expertise. They are people who Americans do not want. So Ghana is now the dumping ground of American deportees. They rejected people in the US. Ghana is now the dumping ground. Millions are on their way because that is the agreement that John Mahama has signed. The question I'm asking my Ghanaian audience and other African countries, shout out to my guy, Bola Tinubu. I do not support Tinubu on a lot of things, but Tinubu stood his ground and said, no, Nigeria will not accept deportees from America. Nigeria is not a dumping ground, that we will not take your deportees. We will not take it. Nigeria stood its ground. When Nigeria stood its ground, Ghana cowardly bowed down. John Mahama cowardly bowed down. After the U.S. imposed tariff on Ghana, after the U.S. imposed visa restriction on Ghana, what is Ghana getting? And the next day, John Mahama accepted again. So those Ghanaians that are saying Nigeria must go, more millions are coming. The Nigerians that are in Accra, they are those that are creating jobs for you in Ghana. You say you don't want those ones. The ones that are coming from America, they are not coming to create jobs. They are not coming to open stores to pay taxes. They are coming because your country is now the dumping ground for American rejectees. And that is the agreement that your president, John Mahama, has signed with the U.S. government. And unfortunately, you have to live with that. Is it in Ghana's best interest to sign an agreement? You have countries like Rwanda, Uganda, Eswatini, and one other African country. They have signed this agreement where third-party deportees are now being sent to Africa. Is it in this country's best interest? We know that America is a world superpower, but at least, is it in Ghana's best interest? American imposed visa restriction on Ghana, tariff on goods and services from Ghana, and the next few days, Ghana say, uncle, bring all your rejectees. We will have them in Accra. And that is the situation that we find ourselves. Let me know whether you think it is in Ghana's best interest to accept millions of deportees. And what is Ghana getting in return? Don't forget to share this video. And all my Ghanaian audience that are saying that Nigeria must go, Nigeria must go. The ones that are coming now, Charlie, they are not coming to set up job. The ones that came to Ghana to create job for your own people, to make your economy grow. You say you don't want them out of envy, xenophobia, and hatred. The ones that are coming now that your president have imported, these ones, they are not coming with any cash. They are not coming with anything. They are just people that Americans say they don't want, and Ghana say, bring them, we will take them. So Ghana is now the dumping ground for American rejectee. Don't forget to share this video.